Welcome back to Life and Style. This is Wellness Monday, where we tell you the best project you can ever work on is you. Nah, we've just seen Fit and Fab, Edel Queen, doing whatever she does best. Sahi, kona nani? Mimi. Ama? Yeah, it's my turn because I have Beyond the Sport for you. Edel Queen, sport gani upenda?
I love rugby. Actually, at some point in my life, I played it.
You played it?
I started a team in the university.
Wow.
Wow. Rugby was nowhere near ladies, and I started it. Yeah, so you know how much I love it.
And talking about rugby, I have something planned for you. So in the next few weeks, just keep it here. Keep it Wellness Monday. Keep it Beyond the Sport because we have something. But right now, take a look at this. Hey, my friend Afungo. Unaongea nini? So yeah, welcome to another episode of Beyond the Sport. I'm your host Brian Tsuma, and today nimekaa kwa nyumba fulani hapa mrembo sana. Utadhani ni nyumba ya mrembo, But it's a house of a legend. This guy, he's only 24 years, but he's making a mark in the game of rugby. Who am I talking about? This guy, Joshua Chisanga. Vipi dadi?
Poa sana.
Uko fiti?
Niko sawa.
Acha tuweke pad chini, si ndio?
Na kuchapa hapa unasemaje? Acha tuweke pad chini sikuaibisha hapa.
Usifanye watu nyumbani wapate impression eti wewe ni mnoma hivyo Rugby najua unaweza nishinda, lakini hii nikidhani ni yangu.
Wacha.
Sure?
Okay.
You don't think so?
We'll see.
Anyway. Let's start by a brief introduction. Tell us, because guys back at home might wonder, who's this guy, Joshua Chisanga?
I was born in the Rift Valley to a family of 5. Two brothers. I have 2 brothers, right?
You're not sure?
Wait. Oh yeah, plus me, it makes 3.
3.
So yeah.
Oh, so you're counting,
sisters. Yeah, I was counting myself. I was like, wait, who's the third one? Oh, it's me.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so 2 brothers, 2 sisters. The second last one, there was a little girl who came to, take the reins from me. I was supposed to be the last one. Well, I went to school. Well, my primary school it was a bit all over the place. I went to Bluebells for a little bit. Then I went. When I was little, Mom traveled a lot. Yeah, so when she traveled, she left me with my aunt. So I lived at my aunt's place for quite a while, and she lives in Embakasi. So it's Jogoo area. So I went to Bluebells for a little bit, but I think I was a bit of a hardhead as a kid. So they decided to take me from Bluebells, and they transferred me to Unity in Moja.
Yeah.
So I went to Unity for a little bit. But still, I just found a way to get into more trouble, even from Unity. So Mother Dearest decided, you know what, I'll just ship you somewhere where you behave. So she took me to Kakuyuni.
That's a boarding school.
Yeah, have you ever heard of Kakuyuni?
I'm hearing it for the first time.
Exactly, me too. Well, then. So yeah, then that's where I pretty much completed my primary education. And after that, during the holidays, I tried to be good. I did try to be good. To be fair, it's not like I was doing things out of the ordinary.
You're just being a boy.
I was just being a boy. And because she's not in the country and she's left me under the care of her sister, she feels like I'm stressing the sister. So she would relieve her of my troubles, so to say. So after high school, she didn't know that she'll be around as much. So she sent me to Uganda for secondary education.
You being troubled, was it a form of revenge one?
Look, define trouble.
You told us you're troubled.
That's what I was told. Looking back now, I'm just like,
you're just being a boy.
I wasn't that much trouble. Well, apart from the fights that I got into once or twice, yeah, well, I got into fights, boyish fights, and I got home late almost every day. Where were you? I was playing football, or I was out.
Let's get there.
Yeah.
Playing football.
Yeah.
Because right now you play rugby.
Right.
What motivated you to get into rugby and leave football aside? Because at one time you were playing football.
Well, to be fair, I don't think there's a boy who grew up without playing a little bit of football, even just a little bit, especially coming from 254 and all that, yeah? So the reason why I couldn't play any other sports, and I'm actually serious about any other sports, is because my troubles, so to say, were because I was a rough kid. You know, we'd play football, maybe I'd rough you up, not willingly, but still rough you up, and you call your big brother, now it's a fight. You know, so those were my troubles, and now I couldn't play. I played football for a little. I was average at it. I had a sick left foot, still do, but it didn't go far for me with football, you know. So I was shipped off to Uganda for secondary education. So she thought that would be punishment enough. Maybe I'd behave then. I did behave for a while, first week. Then, because I played, so during holidays, because there was nothing to do really for me, I'd go just play any sports that I could find. So I played a bit of basketball when I was still in primary school. So and I played with people who were like in high school at that time. So I could compete. I was goodish. I was average, right? Yeah. So played a bit of basketball at, where was it? There's this church. I think it's called All Nations, if my memory serves me right. But that was the church I went to. They had a half court, you know. So that's where we went to play basketball. So I played a bit of basketball then, and so by the time I cleared school, I knew my way around the game, right? So when I got into high school, the first game I saw people play was, the first thing I saw actually was a basketball court, and this is Hana International School in Uganda. So I thought, hey, there's something I can do. I first saw the football coach, I was like, but the thing with the football at the school at the time was like, they were sponsored by Proline, so they were a bit out of my league.
Yeah,
like,
you were average.
Proline, average.
Nah,
not for me. So the basketball team was iffy. So I was like, hey, that could be me. So I went for the basketball team, and a few sessions later, they kicked me off it. They were like, look.
I want to know why.
They're like, look, no offense, you're good and all, but
This is not your sport.
this is not for you, bro. Do this, yeah? I'll introduce you to the rugby captain, and maybe from then, you know,
Okay.
it could be the right fit for you.
Was it anything to do with your physique?
It was well, yes.
Were you this big?
I, not this big. I've always been bigger than most kids, or kids my age. So I couldn't play with them. So I ended up playing with people who were older than me to feel at home, so to say. Yeah. So yeah, I was kicked off the basketball team, and I was introduced to this guy called Marlon Ondiege. He played for Mwamba. He still plays for Mwamba.
Yeah.
He was in my school then. He was the captain. So, in fact, I was taken to his dorm. Then he told me, "Right, come for training tomorrow." That's what he said to me. Like, okay.
That's all.
That's what he said to me. Like, yeah, kuja kesho. Like, okay, sweet. Then I showed up.
Ukiniambia hivyo siwezi kuja.
Huh?
Nini? Nasema mimi.
Hey,
Ukiniambia
Marlon,
siwezi.
yo, back in school, Marlon was the person. Like, no one could touch him. That time, no one could come close to Marlon. Like, he had just completed, what was it? See, you know how Uganda is. It's from 1 to 6.
O-level and A-level.
Yeah, so he just did his O-levels. He's back for A-levels, and he was still untouchable. Still the captain. He's been the captain since he was maybe from 3 or something. And he's actually good, you know. And he had a name behind him because whenever we'd come back on holiday, he'd play for Mwamba. It's like, yo, that's Marlon. It's Marlon, you know. So it was a big deal. Like, oh, you just come for training. So I did. I went for training. I had no idea what I was doing. So I had an interest to play rugby because I thought maybe because I kind of liked the physicality. I thought, hey, look, I can take them. But I never really got a place to actually do it. So I went for training, and they put me on the wing. And he told me, we'll pass you the ball. All you need to do is catch it, run, and anybody who comes to tackle you, you deal with them first.
Do what you do best.
Yeah, it's like, okay, that's all? It's like, yeah, it's pretty much it's a fight with rules. Just don't drop the ball when you fight back. If they're coming to put you down, put them down first.
Yeah.
So all I did is catch the ball and run into people. That's what I did for a long time. Then the passing came in, like pass backwards. So I felt like all my energy was put to use. You know, I had no time to be bad then because I was too tired after training, and I couldn't wait for the next training session and the next one and the next one. And it became a challenge because I had just joined school, right? So I went to be the first year 9 to be on the school team, to be on the starting lineup for the school team. So 6 weeks later, I learned a bit of the rules, you know, the basics at least, and I played my first 7th game, and that's how my rugby journey started. Yeah.
So you started off in Kampala,
Yeah.
then came back to Nairobi.
Yeah.
Once you got to Nairobi, what was next for you?
Well, when I was in my last year, I remember talking to some of my boys who were talking about, well, if we're going to, you know, carry on playing, because it looked good for me. You know, I played a few games for Makerere, for Impies. Yeah, and they wanted me to stay behind and play for them, but I just wanted to come home, you know. And so we're talking. Some of the boys were asking me, because my boys were ready. They were like, look, when we go back home, I might or not play, but you must play. You have to play. I was like, we'll see. And at the time, Homeboys was coming up. And I've always had an interest in joining Homeboys because of the music and entertainment beat. So when I heard that they're starting a rugby team, I was very keen. I was very, very keen. And they were doing quite well in the lower league, right? So I was keen. I felt like I could fit in, and, you know, but everybody else was telling me, nah, don't do that. Go to Queens. Go somewhere. Go to a club go somewhere, you know? Yeah. And at the time I was a back. I was a center wing. I just feel, I told them we'll see, but I had I had another agenda. I didn't think that rugby for me would become a career. Though, from what I'm told, I was 5 years old when I was first asked what I wanted to be when I grew up.
And you said?
A musician or a rugby player. Or not a rugby player, a sportsman. I said a sportsman.
As a sportsman, in terms of sports?
Yeah. Well, that's where I ended up.
And the musician bit, you're coming to that shortly.
Okay.
Yeah, let's save it. Huh?
All right.
You're getting to that.
Yeah.
So,
so I came back home. I was 18, turning 19 at the time. I heard that Homeboys train at the main machine grounds. So so I didn't know which days. So me and my best friend, we went for training. I used to play 12, he used to play 13, or I used to play 13, he used to play 14. So we were there. So we went to this session. We didn't know what team was training. I had no idea. It's my first time on a rugby pitch in Nairobi. No, actually, it wasn't. I've left something out.
You're lying in front of a camera.
No, I'm not actually lying. I've just realized I left something out.
Yeah.
See, during holidays, when I come back home, I felt like I can't just sit and not play rugby.
Yeah.
So what I'd do, I had friends who lived in Mada. So they tell me, hey, Strath is right around the corner from my house. So what we could do, we could just, go and train. Or you could go and train. I was like, why not we? I was like, just you go. Maybe it could be something for you.
Yeah.
So they took me to Strath once. So I trained. I had a few sessions with Strath. And I trained with the second team because at the time, I remember it was like the first team would train on that side of the pitch, the second team would train on that side of the pitch. So I used to be with those guys on that side of the pitch. So I played. So we would interact every now and then. We'd interact with the first team. Yeah, play a little bit of rugby, but it didn't really go far for me with Strath because it was just something to do during the holidays because I didn't really know of another team that I could train with. So yeah, I did train with Strath for a little bit.
Then you're telling us about Nairobi University when you went to the pitch. You didn't know which team.
Yeah, I didn't know which team was playing. Yeah, so that was just to correct that it wasn't my first time on a rugby pitch in Nairobi. It was my second time. So I I just changed and got into the training session. And I trained. And we played a bit of contact, and they liked me. So they named me for the team that weekend. It was a Thursday, if I remember correctly.
And you still don't know which team you played?
Well, I didn't know. Up until this time, I don't know. I'm like, okay. So, because in my head, I didn't think that there's another team that trains here. And clearly, this is a rugby team that's training, so it must be Homeboys. But it wasn't. So at the end, I'm like, hey, what team is this? Like, oh, this is Machine. Like, what? Machine. Hold on. It's not Homeboys? Like, no, they train tomorrow. Like, oh. But it was too late for me because I'd already made the team. And I was excited. I was beyond. I was like, what? Today, me make the team now? No way. Yeah, but I did make the team. And so I played for Machine. I played, I think it was Chairman's Cup. So we're playing Strath that weekend, right? We played Strath. So me and my best friend were both named, 12 and 13. So I was playing 12, he was playing 13. I think we won that game. Right. So after that game, I was approached to go train with the under 19s. So someone told me their coach was going to be, someone from Machine told me their coach was going to be there. The coach, the under 19 coach, was going to be there for a training session on Wednesday. And that was the Homeboys training session. So he told me, come see him and see what you could do. So I did. I appeared for the training session on Wednesday, so I spoke to Paul Murunga, who was the coach at the time, and he told me, we're training on Sunday morning, come through. So I went. Now, there was a dilemma, because in high school, I played a bit in the pack, but I mostly played as a back. So when I got to training, I was split, because I wanted to train as a center, but at the same time was a flanker. So it reached a point where I'd be called as a flanker and a center at the same time, or if a center is down and I'm with the forwards, I'm like, hey Josh, come back. Or when if a flanker is down and I'm with the backs, like, come back. So someone told me, this is how you'll not make that team. And when the time came and they had to name a team, it was Billy Odhiambo was playing at center at 12 at the time too. So it was pretty much between me and him, and they picked him and threw me at 6. I was like, okay, fine, as long as I make the team. So we went to Zimbabwe for the car. Yes, I think the African Championship. But we were, it was Confederation of African Rugby, I think. But we were in the second tier, so we had to qualify. We had to win all our games to make it to the higher tier, which is, I think, 1A, because we were in 1B. We need to be in 1A. So I think we played Zambia, we played Uganda, and someone else, and we beat all 2 teams. So we made it. We were the people who made it to the Tier 1A. So we can compete to go to the Junior World Cup and all that.
Talking about your past, you've told us that you played at one time you played for Mean Machine and all that. But something which really stands out when we talk about Chisanga, you're one of the few players who has been called to play for a club abroad. When I'm talking about abroad, I mean you currently, you're just on holiday, right? You're on holiday from the UK, Newcastle Falcons. How was it? How did you get that call?
It was strange, actually. We were in South Africa for about 2 months, and an agent approached me, or rather an agent approached the head coach to ask if I had an agent. So, no, I didn't have an agent, so he introduced me to an agent in the UK. So we got talking, me and the agent, and he told me to send him my clips, asked how many cups I had so far, and just asked me to get to 10 cups so I could get a work permit in the UK. We looked for a long time, I was supposed to go to the UK in 2015. Oh no, 2014 even. Yeah. That's when I was supposed to go, but I got injured and I didn't have the right amount of caps, so that died. Then I went for surgery, went for rehab. I came back and I made my caps, and I was still talking, me and the agent. So we kept stubbing, and finally we found something, right? But we chased it for about 6 months before it actually became. And when it became, it was a trial. Like, you know what? Just come try, because you've been on our radar for some time now, and you know, we feel like you're improving. So come try, see where. We'll see where it could go. Could be something, could not. So I went in there, and I tried.
You tried and you made it.
I made it. I passed the medical. They tried me on the pitch. My agility was up to par. My fitness. They liked what they saw, and they tested me in the gym as well. And then they gave me a game. So after the game, they were like, you know what, yeah, you're good.
It's quite amazing that at only 24, you get to do all these things. You get to play abroad. You got a national team call-up for the 15 side. This year. You're supposed to play for the 15 side.
Yes.
Last year, unfortunately, you couldn't play because of the new team.
Yeah.
But what motivates you to these heights? Because it's not common.
I just want to do better. I want to do better. I always have, always will, and it's just not enough for me. I've never really had just the opportunity to say, okay, now I think I've had enough. Especially coming up as well, I struggle to make every team I've ever made. That's a motivation in itself, and I don't want to let people down.
Yeah.
First I do it for my family, then I do it for myself. And I'd rather shame me than shame them, so that keeps me going. And all the people who've believed in me, At points I didn't think I'd make the national team, but people told me, relax, you're good enough, you'll make it, it'll come, because that's the problem with me. I'm in a hurry. I want to make everything now. It's always let's do it now. But along the way I've come to learn that you have to be patient with some things. So what motivates me? Just the need to be better.
This guy is hungry for success. Keep the conversation going. Hashtag KTN Life and Style. Hashtag Beyond the Sport, because this guy Chisanga is one of a kind. He plays for Newcastle Falcon back in the UK. Ukipenda unasema Mwingereza huyu. Wanyama mwingine ndio huyu, when you're counting millions. You're also a sound engineer. You're a producer. Tell us about that.
Well, you remember I told you I wanted to be part of Homeboys?
Yeah.
It was never because of the rugby. It was rugby had not. Rugby was just I saw a way that I could get in, and I used rugby to get in, and I acquired a skill. I've always had a love for music. I've wanted to make music. Pretty much ever since I can remember. Yeah, I played the drums in church. I sang for a bit. I used to rap.
So kuna ngoma gani?
Wapi.
Producer mzima.
Well, for other people, yeah. Things I've produced for other people.
Highlight yenye ngoma gani imehit sana?
Hit gani? Hit na nilienda UK. Just when I was about to break through, they told me it was almost like a choice. It was okay, either you stay and become
a producer,
successful producer, or you can go be a professional sport. Like there's many successful producers. I'll go be a sportsman. That's what I chose to do. Yeah, well, I worked at Homeboys for a while. I worked with people I've never thought of meeting even. So, yeah. So,
what's your kind of genre of music? If you have to produce probably a song for me and my producer Nerea.
Depends on what you want.
Anapenda kipito lakini sawa.
I could do that.
You could do that?
Yeah.
So, are you limited to any kind of genre?
To be honest, what comes to me naturally is kind of what I grew up around. I grew up around a lot of hip hop and R&B and pop, and African music. So if you asked me to make a random beat right now, I'd kind of lean towards those. So I'd either jump up with an African beat, or it would be hip-hop-ish, R&B-ish, yeah.
So besides rugby, besides producing, what else do you do?
Business-wise, I'd rather stick to what I know. So my dream is to own a record label. All right? So let's just say I'm working towards that.
Sasa, and in terms of ladies, because tunajua wasichana wa Nairobi wanapenda wala wanaume wana muscles, na ziguembe kidogo. Is there any woman, any special lady in your life?
My mom?
Sasa si wachana mom kwanza.
No, not her.
Take mom kando. Unajua mom yake inakonga. Love yake ni unconditional.
Wacha bana.
Kuna warembo wengi sana wanakucheki sana. Angalia hiyo kamera.
No, I'm single.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm single.
Unajua tuko era ya masponsor and all that.
Wacha.
Sasa hiyo washasikia uko UK, unacheza rugby at club level internationally. Kuna hii pressure itaanza kukuja. How do you think you can handle this pressure?
Just be nice and go home.
That's it.
Well, that's pretty much it. What else could you do? It's either you want to or you don't. That's my take on it. People who blame groupies for things they've done, I'm just like, no, bro, you did that. You either want to or not. So with groupies, it's a choice, I think. Yeah. So if you want to, you can always.
But nah, for you, no.
Well, for now, I'm not really looking for anything. Yeah.
So in terms of food, because imwile jengo nambao. Favorite food yako ni gani?
I don't have a favorite food. I eat everything.
Nilikuwa nataka kusikia hiyo. Honestly, nilikuwa nataka kusikia hiyo.
Yeah.
But kuna ile chakula yenye probably kupika mama akikupikia hii food inakuanga hivi.
Mom makes sick fish. She is something else. But my go-to would be chicken. I have chicken with everything. Chicken is chicken.
Chicken.
And more chicken.
This guy Tsuma-Host. So, 10 years from now, where do you see yourself?
At least played in the World Cup quarters, at least, at the very least. IB Player of the Year. Ambassador of some sort through music and sports. Record label owner. Hopefully, kids. Married, maybe.
You may say, man,
you know.
You're not sure.
Well, I'm sure. In 10 years, I'll be 34. That's old.
Yeah, that's old.
Ish. That's oldish.
OG. Come on, Lem Swatint.
He's an OG though.
He's an OG though.
Yeah. So 10 years from now, apart from life-wise, apart from like rugby and profession, yeah, I'd see myself settling down, you know.
There's you play rugby, and considering Kenya right now, since the last Olympic, we saw Kenya participating at the Olympic level. We had the 7th team representing Kenya right there. Do you have a dream of representing Kenya to start heights?
Yes. When I said I would like to play in a World Cup quarter final, I meant Rugby World Cup.
Rugby World Cup and the Olympic too, somewhere there.
Well, if I'm picked for it,
yeah,
100% I'll be there. Yes. So do I have the ambition? Yes, I do. I want to. I want to. And in fact, back in school, because, you know, growing up, I didn't know much about 15s rugby. You know, it was 7s and 7s.
Yeah, 7s and
7s. So I watched the likes of Injera and Toll when I was still in high school, and I was like, man, I'd like that to be me, you know. And I kind of worked to get there, but I went 15s instead. Yeah, so that's one box I haven't ticked, though I've been called up for training camps, and I've been part of the team. I've been part of the setup with past 2 coaches, I think, but I've not really featured. So if I featured, that would be another box ticked.
Yeah.
And
talking about featuring, we have the likes of Billy Odhiambo, who you've just mentioned a while back. These are people who have made a mark. Probably this season, somebody like Billy Odhiambo is one of the young players who made a mark in the Kenyan team, in the circuit itself. What do you think, or where do you see the youth, or rather, because there are so many people watching you back at home, they have interest in the sport and all that. They're thinking, where do we have a chance of playing? Because we've just seen Billy Odhiambo there, we've seen Kevin Oliech, just to name a few. Do we have a future for youth in the team?
Definitely. In fact, that's the future, the youth. Because honestly, say 5 years ago, no, let's say 6. 6 years ago, I was 18. If you told someone that boy will go pro, what they say to you? Nah, bro, he's good, but pro? Come on. Yeah, but I think it comes down to you as a person. You have to want it. Because I think all of us have the ability to go pro. But and how long do you give up? Because it's been tough. I'll tell you that it's been a very long journey for me personally. You know, I've gone through it. I don't think it's for everyone. I think people will want it and talk about it and speak about how much they want to actually go through it. But actually sticking to it and going through it is a whole different story.
It's a calling.
It's a call. Look, it's not easy. It's not easy because the amount of things you have to do, the discipline that you need to have, it's not easy. It's all about you. You have to look inside yourself and be honest with yourself and say, you know what, I could actually do this. You know. So something that I heard from Kanye's song, he said, aim for the stars, so if you miss, you land on the clouds. Yeah. It's still high enough. Yeah, so I think there's saying that you're aiming for the stars and there's actually acting like you are, which is the difference. Yeah. So to answer your question, youth, definitely, 100% yes, but with some guidance from the people who've done it. That's what kind of helped me as well. Because there's times that you're just like, you know what, I'm not even made for this, man. I'm tired. Let me find something else that will materialize. You know, then Toll pulls you aside. He tells you, hey, keep doing what you're doing. It's looking good.
As we wind up, probably, kabla nirudi kuchapa hapa hivi. What do you miss about home? What do you miss about Kenya? Because when you, for a number of months, you're away from home, away from the country and all that. What do you miss about
the people, first and foremost? When you're away, you know, there's things you'll see, and only you will find funny. You know, but you're like, oh, if Mavala was here, we would have died. You know, but they don't get it. Even if you explained it, it won't be as good. You know, so definitely I miss the people. And I miss the food. You know, you can't have.
Video tukasema chakula.
Manze lazima bana. At some point,
you just miss. Ongea Kiswahili kidogo. Unajua labda tumeongea interview mzima kama kizungu. Watu wanadhani ulienda YouTube.
Hii ni makosa yako. Si wewe unauliza maswali za kizungu.
Hapana. Sawa basi makosa yangu. Thanks Maze. Cheers Maze. Nafurahia. Unajua si kila siku unapatana na professional athletes.
Yeah, true.
So, hapo ni swali zuri sign autograph kutoka.
Ukinichapa na kusainia.
Hii inakuchapa, hii inakuchapa.
Sawa, unichape basi. Nichape tuone.
Hii inakuchapa. Seti nini? Welcome back to Life and Style. That was Beyond the Sport, where we take a look into our sports personalities' lives, see what they do when they're not playing that particular sport, what they do in terms of business, in terms of family, in terms of all those things. That's Beyond the Sport for you. But right about now, Edelko, unajua tumekawia na tunakuzoeaga tu. Hebu simama kidogo watu.
Unakuwa mpole.
Na pia watu nyumbani wamezoea tu kuona na trainers and all that. What's the inspiration behind this?
Okay, there's another life outside of what you normally do. Yeah, the way you just said it, you're going to be looking on those sports personalities, their families, their businesses. So this is the other side of me that people don't know.
I also have another side. This is the other side of me. This is the other side of me.
You look good, Brad. Yeah. Where do you get those shoes?
Siriwa.
No.
City.
You're
City
City
Walk.
Walk.
City Walk,
You're
yeah.
going to be taking me there.
I should.
Yeah.
But they have lovely merchandise for ladies, women, children, kila mtu. So just walk into any store, any City Walk store. They have over 20 branches around Kenya. Just walk in there, wako na discounts kazote. So utapata kitu yako. Ama je Del?
Ni hivyo.
But right about now, we are taking a short commercial break. Na Wellness Monday ndio imeanza. So, you know, we have the kitchen. Then thereafter, SOS, socialite of all socialites, Shaniko mwenyewe, she'll be coming back with Kicheko. So, don't go too far. Keep the conversation going. Hashtag KTN Life and Style. Hashtag Wellness Monday. Tunarejea after the short commercial break.
Yeah, the other day, Crystal told me that my food looks better than my clothes. I was really offended. Yeah, I was really offended.
She has
I don't know what she'll say about us today.